Good morning. Good morning to our healthcare workers here for Lee Health and our community that's watching today. I'm Nicole Traum, and this is Lee Health's Healthcare Hero Self-Care Moment. And this week we are talking about finding peace, and what better way to do it than starting our day with a little bit of mindfulness. So if you're new to this, welcome. And if you've been watching for a while, thank you so much for tuning in. You can drop in the comments where you're watching from. I know we've got some people from the Employment Center and some other departments, I think over at Gulf Coast Hospital. So I love to hear, I know I get messages sometimes on Facebook about, hey, we were watching. So I love to hear that. And that's just great because we want to share this. We want to share this love with everyone. So today, our focus is going to be on allowing ourselves to find an anchor. These last few weeks, this last 2 weeks actually, I haven't been able to go on my run because my hip was hurting me, and that was kind of my anchor, I realized. And I went back this morning for the first time in almost like 2.5 weeks, and it just felt really good to have that anchor of just being able to, like, this is what I do in the morning. Because things are still not very much in our control, they're really never in our control, but especially right now, they feel like they're not in our control. It's important to have those things that get you through your day, that get you through your week, that get you through this whole process. So one of those things can be getting up in the morning and meditating, or even just kind of listening to something like this so that you have something to kind of delineate the day by. So we're going to start here by sitting up nice and tall and just feeling yourself. Give yourself this time, this space, whenever you're doing this, even if it's in the afternoon or the evening, to just start to settle, to start to release. Feel your hips reach down, press your feet down into the floor, and take a moment here, and even if you have your shoes on, just kind of walk your feet a little bit and feel the sensation of the floor underneath you. It's just one way that we can anchor ourselves, bring ourselves into the present moment. And just kind of walk your feet out. If your feet are barefoot, you might even feel the carpet or whatever's underneath you. And then sit up tall, and you can bring your hands either to your chair or to your legs and just kind of notice that sensation too. I know it seems really simple, but it's allowing our senses to start to come into this present moment, which is so very important. When we're under stress, even when we think we're not under stress right now, we're probably under stress. And our mind is going like this. It's all over it. So we need to kind of bring it in and allow ourselves to draw back in with that. And that's one of those ways that we can anchor. So let's start now with our eyes closed and sitting up tall. And now that you've taken a few moments to start to settle in, to start to feel that presentness, start to check in with your breath. So you can notice your inhale and notice your exhale. And allow yourself the space to just be. A lot of times when we close our eyes and turn within, the first thing that happens is all these thoughts come up, and then we think, oh, I'm not doing this right? But meditation is dealing with all that. It's dealing with those thoughts that come up. It's dealing with the distractions. It's dealing with the sensations. So as these things rise up, just acknowledge them, observe them, and then continue to breathe. Don't let them ruin the whole experience. And sometimes I like to think about those thoughts or those distractions like clouds in the sky, so you can kind of watch them as they go by. Or another analogy is if you sat on the side of the road and you watch the cars drive by. You're obviously not going to run out to grab one, right? But you can still watch them and still be present. So whatever works for you here, allow yourself to just observe. And we'll start by just noticing some sounds. Notice if they're near or far. And then notice any sensations, like the air on your skin, the clothing on your body, maybe even the way that the seat feels underneath you. And then just take a few more deep breaths, letting yourself ground, letting yourself come into that present moment. Good. One last breath here. And then we're going to come out of it, and we're going to just start by taking our hands and our feet and just starting to clench them up. So allowing ourselves to really feel that sensation. Clench your fingers, clench your toes, get all that frustration out, and then slowly release them out. And give yourself a couple of breaths to really release them. And then clench your fingers and your toes and start to clench your arms and parts of your legs, feeling those muscles tensing up, feeling yourself still breathing here, so not holding your breath, and then slowly releasing on out. Good. And now we're going to come all the way up into our shoulders and our hips. So squeezing your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your toes, your legs, all the way up into your hips. Even squeeze your seat a little bit. Keep breathing. That's it. Take another deep breath here. And then slowly release all the way out. Give yourself a moment here. Give yourself a breath to release those fingers. Good. And now we're going to start to clench everything. So we're going to come all the way in, even clenching your face. It's going to look really funny on video. But clenching everything from fingers and toes all the way up through the arms and the legs, the shoulders, the hips, the belly, all the way up into your face. Make a lemon face. And just hold it there as you breathe. Take another deep breath. And then release it all the way out. And start to notice now as you let go that maybe you can let go a little bit more. Finding peace is something that we need to really explore. Like, where are we holding on to that not peace, right? What's causing that imbalance, that inequity in our bodies and in our lives and in our breaths? So when we squeeze in and let go, we start to become a little more aware of it. Let's do it again, squeezing everything in, all the way up into your core, all the way up into your face. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears. Take another 2 breaths here. And then with your exhale, start to, again, notice what you let go of. You can feel like you start to come into like a mushy ball of a person. That's okay. And we'll do it one last time, just clenching everything up, feeling yourself hugging in. Even think about the things that you're frustrated about. Squeeze, get a little angry. And then with this next exhale, then release. Good. Let's bring that right arm down. Left arm up and over. Just a big stretch here. Into the side body. Good. And then we'll switch over. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Big stretch. Big opening. Feeling yourself as you lengthen. Good. One more time to each side. Up and over. And then come on up and over to the left. Now we are going to do a standing pose today. So I'm going to move the camera back. I tried to do it where I didn't have to move the camera, but there's no better way. So I'm going to move the camera back and come to standing next to my chair. So if you can find a spot where you can stand, that's going to be really, really good. And what we're going to do here is bring our arms up, grab your right wrist with your left hand, and just start to reach it over to the left. So that's part one. You can roll your shoulder back and stretch and breathe. Good, and then we'll come back through center and we'll switch sides. So now you're gonna grab your left wrist with your right hand, reach it up and over to the right. Roll your shoulder back, feel yourself breathe. Good, and then come on out and just shake everything out. So shake your arms, shake your legs. And now we're gonna make it a little harder. So if you want, you can stay with just holding onto your hands, or I'll give you a next step. So you're gonna grab that right wrist with your left hand, bring it over to the left. And then if you wanna go a little deeper, you're gonna take that right leg and step it back and to the left. So you're gonna come into this nice bend in the front knee, big stretch up through the side body. If you're feeling really fancy, you wanna test your balance, look up towards your right elbow. Take another 2 breaths here. Good, and then come on out. Move everything around, shoulders and head, and then bringing those arms up, grab your left wrist this time with your right hand. Bring it over to the right. And then if you want to stay there, you can, or you can take your left foot back into the right. So just a big stretch up through the side body, letting yourself breathe. Roll your top shoulder back, and then if you want to test your balance, look up towards that left elbow. Good. Take another 2 breaths here. You've got it. And then come all the way out. Release your arms. And we did this one the other day. We're just going to do a nice forward bend. So you can hold on to the seat of your chair, or the side of your chair, or even the back of your chair, or the wall. And then just inhale as you look up, and exhale as you bow in. So feeling the back of your body stretching. Inhale and exhale. Let's do a few more. If you need to, you can bend your knees a little bit more, especially if the back of your legs are tight. Good. And then this next time, if you want to go a little deeper, you can either just kind of linger here or drop your head. We did this one the other day. You can walk in towards your chair a little, press the back of your head or the top of the head into your chair or the wall. Big stretch into the back of the legs. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Letting your head drop down. Good. And then very slowly come on out, walking yourself up. So I'm going to take my time here coming up. Sometimes when you come up from something like that with your head below your heart, you can get a little lightheaded. So just know that that's normal. We're going to come on back and close things out and do a little bit more of that meditation. We're going to focus today on what's called Maitri. And Maitri is a Sanskrit word that means loving kindness. It's a practice of loving kindness towards ourselves. And I think that's one of the ways that we can access peace. It felt so good to be outside this morning and to just, do something to feel good. And as I was thinking about that, I was like, we need to remember that more. We need to remember that this is a practice that some days it is not a good day. Some days you just want to go back to bed. Some days you feel that anxiety of the world, and that's okay. That doesn't define the rest of our lives. Maybe it defines the next day or two, but it only defines those few moments, right? So we let ourselves be in those moments. But that loving kindness is something that we have to cultivate towards ourselves. So as we move today, as we turn within, I want you to think about bringing yourself back into that place of loving kindness towards yourself. So sitting up nice and tall, and this practice of Maitri, it's a practice of loving kindness. It's a practice of compassion. It's a practice of being open to joy, right? Maybe we're not so open to joy right now because it's it's been a little hairy. So opening ourselves up to that experience, all right? So as you sit up nice and tall and close your eyes, you can bring both hands to your heart today. And as you close your eyes and just let yourself start to settle, come back to your breath to start. So notice your inhale, notice your exhale. Feel yourself checking in. So sometimes the practice of loving kindness towards yourself is just showing up. Sometimes it's just pausing and noticing your breath. And sometimes it's digging a little deeper. One of my teachers used to talk about in our hearts we've got a cave of the heart. And sometimes that cave gets really grown over, right? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of hardness, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty that kind of clouds it up. But deep within there, there's still that light. So as you turn within today, I want you to think about the cave of your heart, and you might have to dig through some things to get to the place where you start to see that little bit of light that maybe has dimmed over the last few weeks, the last few months. And as you close your eyes and turn within, just begin to go a little deeper. Maybe you have to wander really deep to find that cave. Practice the loving kindness of allowing yourself to turn within. Allowing yourself to move into that place of love, that sacred place of your heart. The place that really holds that internal light. I know a lot of us have felt like our light has dimmed. So this practice of turning within, of moving the cobwebs, of moving the overgrowth, is that practice of letting that light shine back out. And as you turn within, see if you can just find that little bit of flicker. Let your outer body soften. Feel your inner body as it fills up with breath. And once you start to find that flicker, then start to breathe a little deeper into that space of your heart center. Allowing that light to slowly glow and grow. Washing you over with love, with loving kindness towards yourself, which just naturally overflows to others. Exploring that place deep within your heart. Allowing the light to slowly grow. To start to wash over you. To inspire you. To bring you joy. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here, just going deep into that cave. And staying there with your breath. Just take a moment to imagine what it would feel like if you could tap into this each day. Maybe at different points during the day. Just consider what would shift, what would change in your life, in your relationships, at your job, in all your interactions. And when we practice this loving kindness towards ourselves, it overflows. Take another round of breath. And you can bring your hands back down. Blink your eyes open. Take any little movement that you'd like to take right now. So whether it's just moving your head side to side, or stretching your arms up and overhead. Come back to your comfortable seat, whatever that is, and just bring your hands in front of your heart. So hopefully, this practice has helped to soften you, touch you deep within, right? We allow ourselves that space. Sometimes we need that loving kindness to really just wash over us. So we might be able to really connect with that throughout our day, throughout our week. We close together with a bow. So I bow to you for your courageousness. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Nicole Traum for Lee Health's Healthcare Hero Self-Care Moment. And we'll be back tomorrow at 6:40 a.m. So feel free, this gets loaded up after so you can share it with your friends. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.